It is not an accident that you are here. It is an inevitability. If you are watching this right now, it is not because you were scrolling. It is because you have hit a wall that has no door. You feel that heavy, cold density in your chest, the one that usually arrives at 3 a.m. when the world is quiet and the distractions of the day have run out. You feel like you are wearing a costume that has become 2 sizes too small, and you can't breathe anymore. Carl Jung spoke of the call to individuation, but let's go deeper. Let's call it what it really is. A divine summons. You've followed the rules. You've been good. You've chased the stability, the degree, the partner, and the social approval. And yet, you feel like a functional zombie, walking through a life that belongs to someone else. This script isn't self-help. It's a mirror. We are going to look at the 5 voices, the 5 internal programs that are keeping you trapped in the false normality that is slowly killing your spirit. The first voice you must ignore is the loudest one. It is the voice of the collective. This voice tells you that being normal is the same as being healthy. It tells you to blend in, to not make waves, and to value the opinion of the crowd over the whisper of your own soul. Jung called this massification, the process of turning a divine individual into a statistical cog in a machine. God did not design you to be a replaceable part. He designed you as a unique expression of the infinite. But the system rewards your obedience with cheap distractions. Netflix, delivery food, and digital likes. These are the anesthesia for your existential pain. The ghost of the collective wants you to believe that if you are unhappy, you are the defect. But your unhappiness is not a defect. It is a sign of life. It is your soul refusing to be turned into a functional zombie. To find your true life, you must first have the courage to be abnormal in a sick society. The second voice is your own, not your true voice, but the one Jung called the persona, the social mask you built to survive your childhood. The internal jailer tells you, you can't change now. Think of what your parents will say. Think of your reputation. Think of the safety you've built. This voice is obsessed with the shell that protects you, but it doesn't realize the shell has become a prison. We often mistake the persona for the self. You think you are your job title. You think you are your role as a good son or perfect partner. But God is not interested in your mask. He is interested in what is behind it. When you feel like you are falling apart, it is actually the jailer losing his grip. The suffering you feel is the friction between who you are pretending to be and who God actually created you to be. Only those who have the courage to let the character die can truly be born again. The third voice is the most seductive. It is the false prophet of comfort. This voice tells you that the goal of life is to be happy and comfortable. It tells you that pain is a mistake and that you should take a pill, buy a new gadget, or go on a vacation to fix it. But Jung and the great spiritual traditions teach us that suffering is a threshold. It is a symbolic portal. If you treat your pain as a problem to be deleted, you miss the message God is trying to send you. Your anxiety is not an illness. It is a silent scream from your psyche saying, "This is not you." The false prophet wants you to go back to sleep, but the soul refuses to continue pretending. Transformation does not happen in the comfort zone. It happens in the abyss, where the ego has no more answers. Stop trying to fix your pain and start trying to free yourself through it. The fourth voice is the one that whispers in the dark, "You are broken. You are too late. You are not worthy of a new life." This is the voice of your shadow, the parts of yourself you have repressed, denied, and hidden, because they didn't fit the perfect narrative. Jung observed that the process of becoming whole begins with the encounter with the shadow. The shadow of shame wants you to believe you are falling apart because you are weak. But only a strong soul has the courage to look into the mirror without anesthesia. Every tear and every moment of feeling lost is part of the trail toward your true identity. The final voice is perhaps the most dangerous. It is the voice that tells you to wait. It tells you to wait for a guru, a partner, a miracle, or a sign from the sky to save you. It is the voice of the wounded child inside you, who still wants an external savior to take away the responsibility of living. Jung was ruthless about this. Individuation cannot be lived by proxy. No one can walk this path for you. Radical responsibility is the only door to liberation. The system profits from your passivity. It wants you to stay dependent and insecure. But the adult in you must realize that no savior is knocking on your door. There will be no manual and no permission. There is only the growing discomfort inside you that tells you either you change or you continue dying in slow motion. Have you noticed that as you listen to these words, the internal crack feels a bit wider? This is not a coincidence. This is synchronicity. Jung described synchronicity as the moment the outer reality mirrors the inner transformation. This video found you exactly when your ego was ready to listen. The unconscious speaks through symbols, images, and even algorithms when the soul is magnetizing what it needs to evolve. God is whispering to you through this content. God is not trying to convince your rational mind. God is trying to touch your heart. You may have stumbled upon this among hundreds of other videos, but nothing is by chance when it comes to the soul. You are being pushed to be born again. Every transformation requires a crossing, and every crossing requires a leap. The leap is not physical. It is a psychic shift. It is the moment you stop asking for permission to be yourself. It is the moment you say no to the expectations of others, so you can finally say yes to the pulse of life inside you. Jung compared this to confronting the inner dragon, the archetype of all your fears and resistances. The dragon will tell you that you are crazy, that you will lose everything, and that you will regret it. But fear is not a warning to retreat. It is a marker that you are exactly at the right point. On the other side of that fear is not chaos. It is life, real life, presence, authenticity, and meaning. You don't need to be 100% ready to leap. You just need to be tired enough of the lie. You are standing at the watershed moment. Behind you is the false normality, the psychic death of a life guided by duties and masks. In front of you is the unknown territory of your own soul. No one is coming to pull you across. The choice is exclusively yours. God has provided the symbolic intelligence, the discomfort, and the signs. But you must provide the courage. You must decide, will you continue to exist as a statistical cog, or will you step into the great architecture of your true destiny? So, leave a mark, a small phrase, a symbolic declaration to the universe and to yourself. Write in the comments, I am ready to build. Not for me, but for you. Because naming is invoking. Writing is sealing. This is the first conscious decision of the new life that awaits you. If this video found you when you needed it most, keep watching. The path has already begun.